darts fans, and welcome to tonight's Sporty Stuff TV darts coverage. It is for Group B of Week 1 here in the brand new Stage 1 here at the Online Darts Live League. I am the Asset Paul Nicholson, and I will be your guide tonight for 10 brilliant matches, and we will take you through to around about 1:30 in the morning into Friday. It's been a really busy week already. We've had 4 sessions over the course of Group A and the start of Group C. So before we get cracking tonight, let's have a little look at what happened in Group A. This is how it finished. And as you can see, Dave Pallett got through by a very small margin, having the same points as Jelle Klaasen after 15 matches played each. And it was the leg difference that got Dave Pallett today off and tomorrow in preparation for Saturday's finals. So one person progressed from Group A through to the Saturday finals. As for Jelle Klaasen and Robert Owen, you will see those guys tonight because of their league position in Group A. They have graduated to Group B, a 5-player group. As for Osborne, Kay and Cox, they had a little bit of action a little bit earlier on today in Group C, and they were pitted against a debutant and 2 players we haven't seen a great deal of, but Group C was pretty exciting. And as you can see, it was the debutant, Adam Atkinson, who walked away with the best total of 8 points and a leg difference of +7. But Colin Osborne had a very tidy day, and it will be 2 players graduating to the finals from Group C tomorrow, but the likes of Newell, Keelan Kay, Lee Cox and Jamie Durrant all still have a chance. More so the guys like Newell and Kay, but Cox and Durrant may need a perfect Friday if they are to make their way through. As far as tonight's group is concerned, it's going to be 5 players. They will have 4 matches each, and over the course of the next couple of nights, we will have 3 players from this group going to our Saturday finals, where we will see 6 players split into 2 groups. There will be round robin on either side, and then we will have our semis and finals after that. But we are going to start tonight with one of the players from Group A who didn't get through, in Jelle Klaasen, and he's up against Nick Kenny, someone who we have seen here before. So over to the hockey to see what these guys can do.
Game on!
And straight into the action, just as we like it. Welcome back, Nick, and straight in the 60 to start with that distinctive
100.
rangy style. Up against one of 2 JKs tonight.
140.
You've got a Jamie Kelling and you've got a Jelle Klaasen. You'll have to wait quite a long time for the JK derby because that will be match 10.
180.
But you don't have to wait long for your first 180 because that comes with the 3rd throw.
180.
And it's got a friend. This is a bit of a Tabasco
60.
start. Rather hot. And you sense that maybe Clarson has a bit of a score to settle because he put himself in
30.
position to win Group A.
61.
He just needed Robert Owen to beat Dave Pallett in the final game, and Robert Owen could not do him a favour.
83. Ellie Rock 151.
Now tonight is going to be quite rapid.
40.
When you've got the likes of Arron Monk, Robert Owen and Jamie Kelling on top of these guys, some of these games are going to be rapid as you like. Double top for the first leg. And Nick Kenny finds a 15 darter to start things off. Very, very good. And a message sent to Jelle Klaasen that he's going to have to be on his game from the off.
Second leg is Jelle to throw first.
I don't know whether it's just me, but Jelle's darts look really sparkly tonight. He may have given them a clean. It's something that a lot of dart players don't do. But let's have a little look at Nick Kenny's live league career. 30 matches played, 13 wins for a win percentage just a shade over 43%.
180.
Jelle's already got 2 maxes. Nick might have 2.
180.
Keeping the tonsils warm of Owen Binks, our referee for the night.
140.
This is a ridiculous game so far. Now, I'm not going to get ahead of myself because we were on for a live league record in the first game this morning. It didn't materialise.
9. Nicky Rock 164.
And it would be typical of Jelle's week if this 164 goes. Because he has lost by a lot of fine margins this week.
94. Jelle Rock 132.
Can he find it this time? Hates the lie. It's got to be right at the top.
24.
And you can see it flicked off the flight.
Nicky requires 70.
Ooh, the old treble 14, double 14 routine.
Game shown the
And
second
that is a
leg.
pick-off shot in
Nick
15
Kenny.
darts for Nick Kenny, who gets 2 legs in 30 darts to average just a shade over 100 at the halfway point of this first match of the
I
night.
think it's Nick to throw first.
One statistic that really bounced up at me off the page in the last couple of hours is that when Nick Kenny's here, his doubles percentage is very, very good. 30 matches and it's 41%.
81.
And I assure you that if he maintains that, he's going to get through this group because this guy can score. I don't think we've seen the best of him. I think Nick Kenny's got a very high level. And he has made a Saturday finals before. He was second in week 4 of phase 2 this year. So there is potential.
60. 134.
It's a setup that hasn't really changed for Nick.
140.
Those old school darts, that medium stem, that Wales flight. And Clarson will not get this wrong
142.
because he is one of the best counters in world darts. But he is in big trouble. First dart missed at a double by Nick.
51.
And it's followed by his second.
86.
74. Double top.
Game
that's
on the
brilliant.
third leg. Jelle Klaasen.
No matter what you think of that first dart, the second and third were absolutely superb. That's how you resuscitate a leg. Because he was almost dead and buried after dart 1. But when you've got one chance left, he picked the right shot and he executed it. That was world class from Klaasen. You could say it was world Klaasen.
135.
Now, if you have tuned in this evening to get the usual puns that you get from Chris Murphy, I hate to disappoint you, but I am not the king of the puns like he is. But if you are tuning in next week, you will hear Chris Murphy on this microphone.
180.
And if he gets any games like this with 5 maximums or more, I'm sure he'll be very pleased. Yes, look at the leg count. 4, well, we're not even 4 legs deep and we've got 5 maximums. If you've had a flutter this evening on over 2.5 maximums in this game, you're laughing. And remember, over 18s only.
45.
Please gamble responsibly. And begambleaware.org is the website you need for all of the information.
46.
Kenny on the cusp of 3-1.
99. Nicky Rockwood 40.
He's been good at the doubles at the top of the board. That one drifts left and high.
Game's on the
And that one
fourth
drifts
leg.
right and low.
Nick Kenny.
Which is exactly what he wanted. 3 legs to 1 now. And if Clarson is to get 2 points here, he's going to have to resuscitate this game somehow.
Fifth leg, it's Nick to throw first.
I don't like to speculate about people's penchant for
49.
a certain football team, but that Nick Kenny shirt looks very Cardiff City-like. With the blue and white.
100.
That can't be a coincidence. I didn't actually know Nick that well until I saw him at a European tour event about 2 years ago. And I had a bit of a chat with him when we were on our way home, and I immediately took to him. I thought he was easy to talk to, really amiable,
140.
hard-working lad. And he's been around a long time. He's played a lot of youth darts, played for his country, had 2 years in the PDC, and he did make semi-finals in Players' Championships, and that takes ability. The ability is there.
55.
And he's got plenty of time on his side to get those privileges back. But before he does that, he's got business here at the Live League.
52.
And Klaasen is playing pretty decent, as you can see, with a 94 average.
174.
And that's exactly what the doctor ordered.
Nick, you reckon 160.
Especially when Nick has missed his first match-winning chance, albeit a very big one.
128. Jelle record 32.
Can't miss it this time. Had problems down here earlier in the match. He's got to go through the posts.
Game's on the fifth
gorgeous dart
Jelle Klaasen.
from Jelle Klaasen. He's having some world-class shots to finish legs. He needs to do it another 2 times.
Sixth leg, it's Jelle to throw first. Game on.
If you guys don't mind, I'm just going to take a little breather because we've got 10 of these tonight. Yes, 10. All rapid fire.
140.
Full of beans games. I hope you've got your chosen libation sitting next to you. I hope you're sitting comfortably because there's more to come. That is 6 180s in this game.
100.
I had a little practice on this board about an hour ago, just testing it out.
100.
There's no way I warmed it up like this.
Jelle broke 121.
Clarson could take us all the way with a 12 darter.
96.
And yet again, Nick has got a 160 plus to win the match. This time he gets the first dart. Bullseye.
136.
That's the second time this week Clarson has faced a 161 to beat him. The last time it was hit. And so is that for a 3-3 scoreline.
Jelle Klaasen.
So with 6 maximums in 6 legs, are we going to get 7? I would definitely bet for it.
7th and final leg, it's Nick to throw first.
101 average Kenny, 95.69 for Clarson. What a start to tonight. The potential was always going to be there with Thursday night's action, looking at this group.
100.
And this is a truncated group. Only 4 matches per night. Whereas in Group C, it's 5 per day.
125.
If you lose in this group, it's magnified a little bit.
100.
Look at the disgust on JK's body language for just getting a couple of tons. He knows he needs more.
100.
You'll be happy with that one. But Nick Kenny is relentless.
133.
And he will get a look at that 58. The only consolation if Nick hits that 58 is that Clarson will have the darts against him tomorrow. Double top. What a game.
Shot on the match.
What a
Nick
game
Kenny.
of darts that was. To start us off, Nick Kenny has gone and put in his best performance in his live league career. Before that, his personal best was 99.53, but it's 102 dead now with those 3 maximums. What a game of darts to start us off. And Jelle Klaasen is already just the tiniest bit behind the 8 ball, even though he averaged, well, that is his biggest average in the live league. And it's a losing average. It's all a bit frenzied. So we're going to take a bit of a break now. And when we come back, we're going to have more of the frenzy because Robert Owen is going to take on Arron Monk after this. Hello darts fans, and welcome back to game number 2 of your Group B action for this evening here, live on Sporty Stuff TV. And they have a big act to follow, because in that first game it was 6 15 darters and a 14 darter to finish things off, a 102 average for Nick Kenny. So he starts strong. What are we going to get from Robert Owen and Arron Monk? The Mad Monk is back. We hope he's not leaving mad. And I just wonder what kind of form we're going to get from Arron up against the ever dangerous Robert Owen, who this week has at times played some great
Arron
stuff.
To throw first. Game on.
But Arron's back, using a different setup to what I've seen from him previously, which is no surprise.
84.
He likes to tinker with his equipment and find something new. But this is his 125th live league match. He's won 58, and his win percentage is just a shade under 47%.
140.
Now, for someone of his capabilities, he will not like that. And his running average of 86.69 will not please him at all.
140.
He is someone who craves perfection. And what he's doing by getting the darts to sit this way in the board,
140.
it looks really useful. They're standing up a bit, in direct contrast to what Robert's trying to do. Hence why he's called Stack Attack.
37.
Come on, Mr. Showman. He was always going to go tops.
97.
Especially when Robert's on 100. Is it tops if he doesn't get the 60? Oh, hold on.
Game
it's
shot
there
the
as
first
well.
leg. Robert
What
Owen.
are we seeing tonight? Exhibition stuff on Thursday night. And Arron Monk starts very well, but not as well as Owen, who gets that first leg in 12 darts.
It's Robert to throw first. Game on.
It's a very unorthodox rhythm and throw that he has. But he has really honed that technique over the years and become a very consistent player. The technique of Arron has never been in question. He knows that his biggest challenge is in between his ears. He's one of the nicest people I know. But get him in a competitive environment, he turns into a completely different person.
85.
These two have the best two personal best averages in an individual game here at the Live League in their careers. Owen, 115.62.
140.
Arron, 108.95. Up to the previous game, they were the only people in this group to have averaged in 3 figures, but Nick Kenny has joined them
57
in that first game.
$99.
We know a thing or two about 58 finishes because we saw one in game 1 to finish the match. And Owen has got that to consolidate that break of throw
82
in the opening leg.
Robbie, you're recording 58.
Can he do it the same way as Nick Kenny, his countryman?
Game shown the
bet he
second
can.
leg. Robert Owen.
That is as good as you will see, and we've seen it twice now.
The leg is Arron to throw first. Game
So
on.
far, not a bad night for the Welsh. And he is currently averaging 13 darts a leg.
25.
Using one of my oldest sayings, I think the Welsh boys have been sipping at that brilliant darts juice.
43.
But let's have a little look at Robert Owen this week. 16 points from a possible 30. A running average of 91.1.
80.
And that actually was the biggest running average of any player in Group A. That's why I think he's got potential to be in the top 3 of this group. He did have
100.
a best game of 100.2. And he had 18 maximums, which, believe it or not, was 7 behind
87.
David Pallett in the end. Pallett getting 25 maximums in 3 days. That was quite extraordinary.
$100.
Well, Arron's going to have to get a hold of this game pretty quickly, otherwise Owen's going to be in the wind.
134.
If I'm not mistaken, the darts that Arron is using are incredibly similar to those used by Nathan Aspinall. A torpedo style or Zeppelin style, depending on how you look at it. Doesn't want to go 19s yet, because 96 would leave 162.
181,
I reckon the 17s is the call. Well thought out, Robert.
94.
Well thought out. I love the way these darts land. They really suit him.
135. Right, we record 164.
Back to the 19s. Another. For the bullseye.
139.
He was that close
Arron, you record
to
40.
shattering Arron Monk in leg 3.
Games
There's
on
a
the
beautiful
third
tops.
Arron
And there's
Monk.
a little bit of that patented spirit from the Mad Monk. He doesn't like to do anything quietly. It's now 2-1.
Fourth leg, it's Robert to throw first. Game on.
I find it quite amusing, actually, that there are 3 people in this room. It is
100.
library quiet. And you could have heard there that Arron said, come on, when he hit tops. I personally don't have a problem with that.
123.
But I can guarantee you that some players who have graced this hockey would have a problem with it. He's a fired up player. He's a fired up person.
100.
Just leave him for what he is.
$100.
Arron is someone who has played for his country in the last 6 to 8 months. Another thing ticked off his list.
134.
But he still has ambitions of getting back to the PDC Tour. It's now 10 years
Robbie Rock 167.
and more since he won the World Youth title. That's a scary thing. He beat a certain Michael Van Gerwen in that final at Alexandra Palace. Does not seem like that was over 10 years ago.
140. Robbie requires 70.
This could be a game-changing moment. Double top.
Game show on the fourth leg.
And he just seems like he's going to find whatever he needs when he needs it. Monk sitting on a double, and that 70 checkout was so easy for him.
Fifth leg, it's Arron to throw first.
This is a big-time performance. And what so far is looking like a blockbuster group.
100.
The only person we haven't seen so far is Jamie Kelling. And I think he's starting to get the message that if he doesn't perform,
43.
he will be left behind, because some of these guys are really hitting everything that they want to.
$85.
That is the perfect first start for Owen, and that should be a maximum.
180.
Predictable darts. And remarkably, that is the first maximum of this match. And they're both averaging well over 100.
45.
Earlier tonight, I tipped that they would get 3 or more 180s in this game. And I am quite amazed that they haven't.
100.
Needs another treble.
141.
And that turns out really well. The treble 7 was not intentional, but it's a bit of a happy accident.
140.
And you're going to have to hit that 130, Arron,
130.
if you want to stay in this match. Bull.
105.
This game will be over in about 10 seconds, if not less. The way that Robert has thrown in this match. There you go.
Shot on the man.
Absolutely
Robert
sensational Owen. From Robert Owen. And the fact that that is not his best average in his live league career tells you what he's capable of. 109.41, and by 1/10 of a point, that is the best performance we have seen all week long. Arron averages 101.55 in defeat with 50% on his doubles. But look at Robert Owen, 80%. That is a staggering performance. Well done. The Welsh are doing well because they've won the first 2 games of tonight. As far as the third one's concerned, will that continue? Because Nick Kenny will come back and he's going to take on our final player to see for the first time. It's going to be Jamie Kelling taking on Nick after this short break. Welcome back, everybody, and I think we can classify tonight's start to the action as blistering. I hope you're enjoying it so far. 2 matches in with 8 to go, but this is going to be our first look of the night of Jamie Kelling. He's going to take on Nick Kenny, who had a great start in match 1. Nick's got to be really chipper after setting a new personal best here at the Live League in match 1. But the Yellow Submarine is back. Yes, he has the nickname JK right there. But he's not the only JK here tonight, so we are going to call him the Yellow Submarine, one of his older nicknames. 2 tall lads about to go toe-to-toe in best of 7.
Jamie to throw first. Game on.
And I think after the first 2 games, Jamie knows that he's going to have to be on his A game if he is to stand a chance of coming through this group. Which, in a sense, is not a bad thing, because when you're given that amount of urgency coming into your first game, you are going to switch on.
60.
Had a little chat with Jamie a little bit earlier tonight. It was just nice to see him. Nice to see him happy and healthy.
60.
It's been a very eventful year. He's become a father. He's had some shoulder issues in the last year, but he's fully fit again.
140.
And he's playing a decent level of darts once again as well. He's been winning local tournaments over the last 6 months since he was last here, which
43.
he said in his own words was maybe just a bit too soon. Quite philosophical about the last time he was here, where he lost 8 consecutive matches and walked away with no points. But in a sense, in this group, he's been thrown to the wolves a little bit.
96.
Because obviously, everybody else is in form.
$41.
Decent start here from JK. He's not on a finish, but he will be in a second.
59. Nick 164.
This was nearly hit in match 2 by Robert Owen.
$84. Jamie
Not a bad approach. Kelling is looking for the classic 118.
78.
And bends the way out of tops.
80.
Double top. He's going to have to throw this high and loopy. Is there anything he can't do tonight?
Kenny.
How did that stay in? That went in sideways. He may be a magician.
Second leg, it's Nick to throw first.
That definitely had a flick on from the other couple of flights. And look at Jamie Kelling in the background, just smiling as if to say,
140.
yeah, this guy's just going to hit most things tonight.
100.
Jamie's running average so far in his career here at the Live League is 82.91. 32% on doubles, with a win percentage just a shade over 43%.
140.
In fact, his win percentage here is very similar to that of Nick Kenny.
100.
But Nick has done more this year than Jamie has done in the last 18 months. And what I mean by that is Nick has made
95.
the final of a Saturday night, whereas Jamie has not. The best he's done is 3rd in week 1 of phase 3 last year.
100.
Whereas Nick Kenny came 2nd in week 4 of phase 2 this year.
$85.
At the conclusion of this leg, I will explain to you what is happening over the next 12 weeks. Because we're not doing 4-week phases anymore, going into a Champions Week. Things have changed a little bit, if you haven't been tuning in the rest of the week.
Game shot on
It's
the
now
second
2-0 to Kenny.
Nick Kenny.
And that's not his first 15 darter of the night either. By my count, that's his fourth.
So look, it's Jamie to throw first. $100.
He is going to be a thorn in everybody's side tonight, is Nick. And who's to say it? He's not going to be part of the Champions Week in the middle of October, because we are going to play consecutively with no breaks apart from Sundays for 12 straight weeks, and then we will have a Champions Week in the middle of October.
58.
Back in the maximum
180.
column. That's his fourth of the night. He looks so confident.
100.
I'm sure there are lots of people thinking, what are the prizes that these guys are playing for? Well, they will be announced in due course.
145.
Just a nod of approval in the background from JK. He's doing it again. The average is climbing as high as the temperature was about 2 weeks ago.
100. Nick, we're going 57.
He's seeing everything well.
47.
But he does miss that one.
Jamie record 100.
Give Jamie a chance to get in this match.
$100. Nick, required 10.
Straight for it, no hesitation.
Game shot on the
And
third
it goes
leg.
for a 3-0 lead.
Nick Kenny.
Jamie Kelling's got a lot of problems now. If he's going to find a win from this position, he really has to find his A+ grade.
Fourth leg, it's Nick to throw first.
And it doesn't help that
Game
Nick
on.
Kenny's got the darts in leg 4. Averaging just short of 96. And we have had a couple of lovely tweets tonight from people watching on
60.
Sporty Stuff TV and our international channel on YouTube. We've had Mark Marlowe having a throw at home whilst watching. Perfect thing to
100.
do on a Thursday night, Mark. Well done. Enhancing your own game whilst watching others doing the same. Have a good night, and thanks for tuning in. And we've had a tweet from
100.
Timur Kovac from Hungary. Loving the live league, and a very nice compliment about my commentary in there, which is
95.
always nice to read. Lovely to hear from people who are watching from overseas.
93.
Kelling has got to go south here. Got to try and leave that 170.
41.
If you look at Jamie's average of 86, it's above his running average by 4 points. But Nick Kenny is on a different planet. It's like he's swimming in a pool of confidence after that first performance tonight.
68.
This is to win on double 16.
$36. Jamie
Kelling has left 170
170
eventually. Would have been some shot to stay in the match. We saw 170 earlier today from Adam
100.
Atkinson
32.
to finish his debut performance.
No score.
Well, Nick has now
Jamie
missed
requires
5
70.
darts for the match. All at double 16. Jamie looks at tops.
50.
And it dips at the
Nick
end.
required 32.
This time it's
shot on
found.
the match.
And I think Nick Kenny
Kenny
understands that he was in a very good place in that match. His average came down by a good 5 points towards the end there because of those missed match darts. But ultimately, it's the 2 points that really do matter. He's already 4 points in and other people are chasing him tonight. And he is going to take some stopping, that's for sure. 30.77 and the high checkout of 80. So a really good, solid performance to back up a personal best in his first game. Jelle Klaasen is going to come back, and he's up against Arron Monk. That's match 4 coming up after the break. This one's a bit feisty. Hello everybody and good evening once again. It is match number 4 coming your way right now. And one thing is guaranteed in this one, it can't be won by somebody from Wales because it's the Netherlands versus England. Wales has dominated tonight, winning the first 3 games. Kenny twice and once for Owen. No shame for Arron, losing with 101.55 average in that first game of his. But now he has to turn the screw against Jelle.
Jelle to throw first. Game on.
So these are the kind of games that I would pay good money to watch. Fast,
84.
furious, quality, and 2 very intense people trying to win a darts match.
60.
And I mean that in a nice way.
58.
Monk only got 2 shots at double
140.
in that first game of the night. Extraordinary when you think he averaged over 101. Clarson did get a few shots, but ultimately 3 hits from 12 attempts. And you just wonder if that's a game that got away from him, even though his opponent averaged 102.
58.
He did have some trouble on the double 16 and double 8 region. He'll be hoping that doesn't continue.
100. Yeah, they rock 164.
Downstairs for the 164.
92.
Doesn't pick up the treble 16. And Arron gets a decent look here for leg 1 against the darts. Double top.
82.
Narrowly missed.
Yeah, he requires 72.
Double top for Jelle.
52.
And he under-delivers too.
20. Game shown the first.
Just looks really
Arron
good at the
Monk.
minute. When you survey the way he's throwing, how eager he is in his eyes, and the way the darts are landing, it all looks pretty good for Arron.
Second leg is Arron to throw first.
From the infamous Monk family, of course. His dad, as if you don't know, was
60.
a brilliant champion in the BDO. And in the early days of the PDC, he had a little bit of success.
140.
One of the funniest things I know about the Monk family is that one day, Colin Monk turned up to a Players' Championship event
55.
and forgot his darts. So he just walked around the room and said, "Can I use one of your sets?" And he walked up to a guy called Steve Maish and said, "Have you got a spare set?" And Steve said, "Yeah, you can use these." That day, Colin hit a 9-darter with them.
140.
Playing good darts is in Arron's genes. And by that I mean his genetics, not his trousers.
100.
I think the less said about Arron's trousers, the better, because I remember him playing in Europe once, and his trousers were so tight we could see the shape of his phone in his
100.
pocket. I remember that day because we were so eager to call him to see if it was on. He did get 1 dart missed at tops for the first leg for Clarson. He doesn't miss when he gets 2.
Jelle Klaasen.
This time it is a break back for Clarson and a fine shot at double 10 as we go into leg 3 of this contest.
Third leg, it's Jelle to throw first. 41.
Nice to see that Jelle is wearing that Aboriginal handprint on his left sleeve. We are approaching the 1-year anniversary of the loss of our friend Kyle Anderson. It's not even that long ago since he won the Auckland Darts Masters in New Zealand when he beat Corey Cadby in the final. Some of the PDC guys will be going down under in the next few days. In fact, Damon Hetta is already in the air. So they're going to places like Townsville and Wollongong.
121.
Jelle, in 3 or 4 days, is off to the Australian Open in the river town of Echuca in Victoria.
96.
There are going to be plenty of people jetting to Australia for various tournaments in August.
100.
I think he would admit that maybe he's searching for a bit of extra from his form. Coming into tonight, he was averaging 86.4. He'd had 16 maximums, which is not bad at all.
100. Haven't you recorded 121?
But you just sense that he's looking for something more. A few extra percent on that average, a few extra percent on the doubles.
46. Jelle required
Getting
96.
through to the Saturday finals is mission 1. Double 9.
78.
This time with 2 darts, he does not find the
75.
target. Surely a double-double. 72. He's looking northeast. Or
43.
he is a bit creative.
18.
I didn't expect him to do that.
No score.
I think when that dart
Arron,
left the Cobra's hand, he thought that was good. It didn't quite get there. Double 8.
Game shown the
Found
third leg
by Monk.
Arron Monk.
For a third consecutive break of throw in this one. I said it would be a feisty game, but there's breaks all over the place.
4th leg, it's Arron to throw first. Game on.
Whatever you're doing the next couple of days, just remember that we do have more action tomorrow. Another double session.
100.
We will see the conclusion of Group C from 9:30 a.m. in the morning. And that will be live via Sporty Stuff
60.
TV. And then, of course, tomorrow night, we will see the conclusion of this group.
180.
Will we be seeing Arron Monk on Saturday night from 10 p.m. in the finals?
89.
We have seen him in finals this year. He was 5th in week 3 of phase 2.
59.
That's the best we've seen from him this year. He was a little bit better in 2021 when he was 2nd in week 3 of phase 3.
180.
But the maximums are starting to come, aren't they? Is it a little bit too late for Clarson in this leg?
88.
Only time will tell. The next 6 darts could tell us
59.
whether he is too late.
Arron, you require 74.
Oh, Arron, what are you doing?
54. Jelle, you require 130.
I don't agree with that methodology. And it could bite him.
73.
He should have been bitten by
Arron,
the
you
Cobra.
require 20.
Going double 17 double top, for me, just is silly.
Game shot.
But he does win the leg.
Arron Monk.
Just a sign of what we get from Arron Monk. A modicum of unpredictability that sometimes we can't even measure.
5th leg, it's Jelle to throw first. $137.
Don't even get me started on why it's wrong to go double 17 double top. But it brings up something that I remember from playing Arron
140.
in the lockdown phase of the Live League in 2020 when this project was started.
140.
I'd already missed 2 darts to win. I think it was 5-4 in the very last leg of a contest with him. as he gets his
180.
second maximum of this match. So he's sitting on 141. I'm still sitting on 32.
134.
And he hits treble 17 tops bull. So watch out for these crazy finishing styles because they're just part of who he is.
105. He requires 90.
And no single 15 does not give Klaasen a shot at the bull.
66.
And he may have to watch
Arron, he requires 76.
as Monk picks a route for 76. Oh, this time he doesn't go double 18 tops.
56.
So why go treble,
required
double
24.
17 double top for 74, but you go for treble 20 on 76?
12. Arron, you required 20.
Game's in his hands. On double 5.
10.
Game should have been over.
Yelly
That's
required
4 darts
12.
for the match missed. And Klaasen's missed a few for this
He's
leg.
on the 5th leg.
But he gets a
Jelle
second
Klaasen.
bite, and he could possibly now steal this game away. It's all about what happens in the grey matter between the ears for Arron now. Can he get it done?
6th leg, it's Arron to throw first. Game on.
Or will the Cobra strike?
81. 96.
I knew this was going to be a very interesting game. In fact, every game so far has been immensely watchable.
59.
I've got to say as well that when Arron changes his equipment so much,
96.
he does tend to go for what's fashionable. And at the minute, these one-piece stem and flight combination things, which Arron is using in this match, they are very fashionable. Used a lot by Peter
91.
Wright right now, by Simon Whitlock, by Jose de Souza, Devin Peterson. And if a new piece of kit comes out that
139.
is seen as fashionable, Arron usually goes for it. And so does his pal Richard North.
140. Yelly Brook 107.
Okay, the big fish and the little fish. You don't often see them side by side.
56. Arron,
The
you
big
record
one's still out to
130.
sea. Is the little one in the net. That was greedy. Lost the line. Single 15.
90.
And forces
Yelly Brook
Jelle
140.
to hit this shot to keep the match alive. And that's going to make him angry.
43. Arron, you require 40.
Double top.
Game
And he has
shot
won
on the
this match.
match.
It
Arron
was
Monk.
a very topsy-turvy affair. Never boring. And I'll tell you what, the averages are only in the 80s. And the doubles percentages aren't particularly memorable. But I could watch those two play darts all night long. I found it immensely entertaining. So that's 4 games down. We are going to have our halfway point after the next match. And it's going to be Robert Owen up against Jamie Kelling. And you know exactly what Robert Owen's been up to tonight. He averaged 109 in his first game. So don't go far. You'll have that game coming up after this. Hello folks and welcome back, and thank you for joining us at this late hour. And if you are tuning in internationally, well, I don't know what time it is, but I hope you're enjoying the action. I'm the Asset Paul Nicholson, and I will continue to be your host for the next 6 matches. But match number 5 is Jamie Kelling's second game here tonight, and the same can be said for Robert Owen, who started magnificently a little bit earlier on. Ever so chatty, ever so positive, ever so confident, and why wouldn't he be when you start the night with one of your best
First leg,
ever
it's Robert to
live
throw
league
first.
performances.
Game on.
The Phase 2 winner of 2022 is at it again, and he is going to take some stopping tonight.
100.
First things first for Jamie, just wants to get a leg on the board. Needs to get something to build on.
85.
He knows full well that every player in this group is playing very efficiently. But Jelle Klaasen so far tonight has not registered a point in his first 2 games. And if Kelling was to win this match,
41.
after 2 games each, it would be Clarson who would be at the bottom of the table at the 1/4 point of this group.
64.
You do every now and again see someone put in a very hot
97.
start, and then as the session goes on, the adrenaline that has built up does tend to dissipate and the performances do go downward. We saw that from Dan
100.
Reed a couple of months ago. He started with 117 average in his first game, and by the end of a day's performance, he did have something in the 70s.
112.
So you have to look for consistency if you are going to succeed here at the Live League.
$56.
As you can see, Robert Owen stands way left on that oche.
58. Robert, you require 56.
And he's got a liking for most doubles on this dartboard.
Game
And
show
double
the
top
first leg.
so far
Robert
today
Owen
has been really good. He's had a double-double on that double. It's almost as if
Second leg, it's Jamie
he's
to
got
throw first.
21 favourite doubles. But by my recollection,
100.
I don't think he's got a bullseye checkout this week, so maybe he's got that box to tick. Now, he did have a bit of a mishap on Tuesday. With a snapped
86.
point in his darts. He had to ask for a bit of help from Lee Cox. And he was using a set of
100.
Lee's spare darts on Tuesday until his set could be fixed. Now that he's got his own darts back,
100.
he's got the darts going in exactly how he wants them to. And he has been fiddling around with his stems this week, trying a few different models.
140.
But he's gone back to the ones that he was using on Monday. For me, these are the ones that work the best.
140. Jamie Brook, 161.
This is Kelling's best leg of the night so far. Oh, that's
70.
cruel. Sometimes that is a risk when the dart is in the bottom half of a segment like that and you throw the way that Jamie does. That does not happen very often. But when it does,
95. Jamie
it
Brook,
is
144.
absolutely cruel. Take this out. I wanted the darting gods to give him one back there. And I don't think Robert Owen
80.
would have grumbled one little bit. Double top.
40. Jamie required 12.
For his first leg of the night.
Game show
Well
the
done,
second
Jamie.
leg.
Not
Jamie
only have you
Kelling.
played well in that leg, but you've shown a bit of a chin as well, because those 2 darts on the floor, they really did hit you hard, just for a few
Delegates
seconds.
Robert to throw first. Game on.
But when shots like that don't derail you, it educates you and tells you,
180.
I can take a punch. I can take a mishap. But now that that leg is over,
96.
Robert Owen is back in that unsympathetic mood by getting back in the maximum column. That's his second one of the night.
121.
Now you might be watching this thinking, doesn't Robert Owen get more kind deflections than any other dart player?
100.
Well, you're wrong. It just looks that way because of the way his darts sit in the board. He knows exactly what he's doing.
140.
He knows how his darts behave. And if you think leaving 60
41.
after 9 darts is
Robbie
a fluke,
requires
you
60.
can think again. Double top. This one should be in.
40.
And he's devastated that it isn't. Must go south.
132.
Superb thinking
Robbie required 20.
as he halves the score.
Game shown the third leg.
Robert Owen finds
Robert
a friend
Owen.
in double 10 to get to the halfway point in this game. He's looking pretty handy as the average is around about the 3 figures once again.
Fourth leg, it's Jamie to throw first.
It has dipped a little bit over the last 3 or 4 darts.
60.
And the reason it dipped because he was on 11 darter in leg number 3.
140.
Ended up that 14 had to be enough, which is fine.
$140.
Good quality game. Kelling, 88 average. Just trying to hold on to Owen, who was always going to be
59.
the aggressor in this one. And there you see that loopy throw
140.
of the very tall Kelling. I'm pretty sure he's stopped growing now. It always feels when I'm standing next to him that he seems to have grown a little bit more.
132. Jamie Rock 161. $65.
Good thinking from
Robert,
Jamie.
170.
Well, full credit to Robert for leaving this 170.
$134.
And this
Jamie
must
Rock
go.
196.
Bit like a carpet sale. Everything must go. All 96 of them.
78. Robert, you require
But there's still
36.
some stock left.
Game on the
And
fourth.
Owen
leg.
is merciless.
Robert Owen.
Right there for a 3-1 lead. And he's got the darts in the next leg. The sooner he gets rid of this game, the better for him, because leg difference may come into play.
Fifth leg, it's Robert to throw first.
And now his average is
Game
very
on.
close to 100, as you can see.
$96.
I was actually challenged to play a match tonight on
140.
this board by referee Owen Binks. He's a somewhat confident young man. It was one of those games that started
60.
best of 3 legs. It turned into best of 5. And by the end of it, we said, come on, if you make it best of 11, I've got to go to work after this.
100.
So needless to say, it was 6-0. It's all right, Owen. You can ask me for a game anytime.
99.
Kelling must start finding more regularity on that 60 and his switch shots.
44.
Otherwise, these opponents are going to gobble him up. This is one of the toughest Group Bs I've seen in recent months.
140.
Kelling must know that he's the underdog to come through it. But that is a card he can play well.
57. Robbie, you require 106.
Pick your double, Robert. You choose tops.
Game
Fine
shot
choice.
on the match.
And what has he done
Robert Owen.
average-wise? I'm just checking it. It's just a shade under the 100 mark. But for the night, he's averaging 104.5. For that game, it was 99.93. And he was exactly 11 points ahead of his opponent. But ultimately, it was the fact that he was 3 legs ahead that gave him those 2 points. And don't forget that the extra 3 legs in the leg difference may come in handy tonight and for tomorrow in a very competitive group. We have reached the halfway point, and we will take a short break now. And when we come back, everybody will start their third matches of their Group B campaigns. Welcome back, everybody, and Group B action will continue now with Nick Kenny up against Arron Monk, their third game of the night. We'll have a little look at our Group B table as we now go back down to the Oki. Owen undefeated, Kenny undefeated, Arron Monk 50-50. It's Clarson and Kelling doing the chasing. But we can't ignore one very good statistic so far tonight. And all of the players need credit for this.
Game on.
94.91 the running average for all games. That is brilliant. That courtesy of
100.
some ridiculous starts from people. And some losing averages like 97 and 101 in the first two games. One of those
60.
belonging to the Mad Monk. Nick has games against Arron
92.
and Robert Owen in match 9 to come. That all-Welsh clash is going to be some game. In fact, the Welsh boys
94.
haven't lost tonight. You wonder if they're going to be undefeated when they play each other in match 9.
99.
If that's the case, Nick Kenny has to beat Monk, and then Owen has to beat Jelle Klaasen next.
140.
And before we get that all-Welsh clash, we will have that Arron Monk-Jamie Kelling match, which will be a bit of a walk down memory lane. Those guys have known each other a very, very long time.
99.
More on that a little bit later. Good double switch there from Arron to get into the same vicinity as Nick Kenny.
$51.
He's got options here. He might.
14.
He's not going to look south. I'm going to stop guessing what he's doing, honestly. He changes his mind that often. I'm surprised he didn't go bull 14 bull. Because earlier he went
60.
double 17 double top for 74.
Games
There you go. A 60 checkout with the University Challenge Zoom on tops. There he is, Nick Kenny, University of Wales. He gets the right answer.
Second it's Arron to throw first.
I don't know if he went to any universities. And the University of Wales isn't even a real thing.
140.
But Nick has worked for the Department for Work and Pensions for quite a few years. He's kept that job even though he has been in the PDC ranks for a couple of years. He's like a lot of Welsh people in darts, though. They like to maintain the work life and have the darts as a side business or a side hobby. Like Johnny Clayton,
60.
like Gerwyn Price, like Mark Webster, like Jim Williams and Wayne Warren. They all have that in common. They've never left their job until it is absolutely necessary. Speaking of Mark Webster,
136.
Arron Monk has some of the same qualifications as Mark, being a qualified plumber and gas engineer.
60. $85.
Nice leave there from Arron after 12. They are the kind of shots that he is going to have to hit. This is why.
140. Arron, you're requiring 80.
Kenny's been hitting plenty of biggies so far tonight. He was going for 2 double tops, of course. Look at this lie.
40.
That's a bit of a waste. He was just trying to float it on top. Just overshot it. He's been so proficient on that treble 20. I am amazed he's gone for the treble 18 there.
40.
Double 10.
35.
Trying to keep his emotions in check, but I can read him like a book. He is mad. He's looking at the treble 16. And Monk is coming back for a tricky-looking check-out here.
47. Arron, you're going 5.
Not many people practice this one.
Game shown the
but
second.
Maybe Arron has been doing
Arron
so.
Monk.
They are just as good as things like 161 because they're just as valuable, getting you the leg. It's now 1-1.
The leg gets nicked to throw first.
One of my biggest things this year in educating young players and people who want to get better is I've been telling them to practice shots like that. Shots like 9 as a checkout, like 7, like 5, like 15.
96.
These are the shots that you're going to need in games sometimes, and you need to have a bit of practice on them. The practice of going from the single 1 to the double 2. And if you're comfortable doing it, you've got more likelihood of hitting it.
30.
This is really good.
That
was always going to be a max.
180.
As soon as that second dart hit, all he had to do was bang it into the flight, and it was going to nestle in that lipstick. A beautiful maximum from Nick.
96. Nick, you're 121.
Without question, outside the PDC Tour card holders, one of my favourite players to watch is Nick Kenny. Just one of those styles that I could watch all night long.
125.
It's somewhat unconventional with this arm out and that prod of the elbow. But aside from that, the style is beautiful.
36.
But the result isn't there yet.
Arron, you're 154.
Is he going to stay there? I really don't know what that was for. And I don't think he does. I think he's seeing the funny side of it.
118. Nick, you're 20.
He might not be laughing in a second. Oh, indecision. What's he going to do?
15.
Oh, no.
Arron, you're required
This
36.
is not a leg that Nick Kenny should have lost.
Game shown the
But
third
it is a leg that he has lost.
Arron Monk.
That one has been let slip. And Arron Monk has got the vacuum cleaner out because he's cleaning up.
Fourth leg, it's Arron to throw first. Game on.
We're about 20 minutes away from midnight. And I do realise that it is
100.
late on a Thursday night. And everybody who is staying up late in the UK and watching from overseas, we welcome your company
140.
for the next hour and a half as we find out where these players will stand going into the Friday night climax of Group B.
84.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy this brilliant darting action.
60.
And revel in the fact that they have got all the stress in the world on their shoulders and you do not. That's one of the great things about watching darts.
43.
Things are being missed by margins that weren't being found earlier.
96.
This one's got a bit scrappy. Just starting to lose his range a bit here.
46.
And maybe we're starting to see a bit of ring rust or a bit of lack of endurance from Arron. He may have been playing away from here and maybe not playing a great deal of consecutive games in things like
59.
local leagues or local competitions. Playing 4 games in a night is not as easy as it sounds.
58. Nick, you're 146.
He may not have found a treble, but he's got his wits about him.
$98.
That's
Arron, you're
turned into a really good visit
170.
for that last dart.
$59. Nick, you're 48.
Can he finish like 4 to put things right after like 3?
Game show.
Yes, he can. And to his credit, he did get a lot of misses in leg number 3, but he's got them back, and it's now his darts in leg 5.
Fifth leg, it's Nick to throw first. Game on.
Now, in a somewhat Chris Murphy way,
99.
there is a bit of a result that if it happens over the next couple of nights, I may have to say a Chris Murphy line.
100.
But the way that Nick is playing, I just don't see it happening. It would involve Nick Kenny losing 4-0, and it goes a little something like this.
140.
Oh my word, he's nilled Kenny. If you're a fan of South Park, you will get that reference.
100.
So we'll just wait and see if it happens. I hope for Nick's sake that it doesn't.
56.
Really has lost the weight of the dart over the last couple of legs.
41.
Must get it back quick, because he is finishing his campaign tonight before anybody else. And he's only got 2 points so far.
45.
There is a distinct likelihood that he could lose this match and only walk away with 4 points tonight,
100. Nick,
which would leave him severely in the maybe column of coming through this group.
$55. Arron, you're 160.
This would cheer him up. This would cheer anybody up.
$60.
But it's as if his darts are allergic to that lipstick for a while.
You require 106.
He's not finding many troubles at all. Speaking of trebles, how about doubles?
66. Arron, you require 100.
That was a very close shave. Another one of those, but where? Right there.
On the fifth
And
leg.
you heard what he thought of that
Arron
one.
Monk.
That was the loudest cry I've heard in this room in the last 18 months. That's why they call him the Mad Monk.
Sixth leg, it's Arron to throw first. Game on.
Never shy. And it's not a surprise to these players because they all know what he's like.
40.
Look at the intensity on his face.
57.
He's lived a life already in his early 30s as Arron Monk. He has had more ups and downs than a Richter scale.
59.
He's beaten the best. He's been beaten by some pretty ordinary players in his time as well.
93.
He has a world-class talent in that arm of his. And every now and again he proves it.
53.
But he's gone a bit missing in the first 9 of this leg. That 100 checkout
45.
is completely pointless if he does not find more quality from here. If you look at the way he delivers a dart, there are hundreds upon thousands of people around the world who would give a lot for his technique.
$136.
That's glorious from Kenny. That's great thinking. Just like this.
162. Nick, you're going
He's played poorly in this leg until that point. I was just holding my breath for a second.
85. Arron, you require 100.
Can he replicate what he did in the previous leg? Well, it's still possible. And of course he was going for treble 15
80.
bull. Of course he was.
You require 85.
They're all at it. They're all doing the unconventional.
65.
And Monk is on the cusp
Arron, you require
of
20.
a very important 2 points to be the first person to beat somebody from Wales tonight.
Game
gets that
shot
win.
on the match.
A really
Arron
interesting
Monk.
contest. And I think a lot of respect between those two. They've been two of the development tour's best over the last 10 years. But 79 average, I think they know that the game was a bit average, but it was still a very good watch. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But when it comes to Arron, what isn't watchable? Checkout percentage of 40%, that's pretty much the best thing that happened, apart from that 100 checkout in the penultimate leg. So we go into the next one, which is Robert Owen against Jelle Klaasen. This could be a very good game. Both playing well, but Clarson still looking for his first 2 points of the night. It's coming right up. Two very different evenings for our next two players. One of them undefeated and playing fantastically well, and the other still playing very well but not scoring points. Will that now change as Jelle Klaasen now takes on Robert Owen? There you see Owen at the top with a game in hand. It will be Jamie Kelling who will finish things up in match number 10 against Clarson. And he has 2 matches to go to try and salvage something from tonight.
Game on.
But this is the 4th meeting of the week between these two. And they are getting to know each other very, very well. So far this week, Robert Owen has won 2 of their matches by 4 legs to 1 and 4 legs to 0 yesterday.
60.
Sandwiched in the middle, a narrow win for Jelle by 4 legs to 3 on Tuesday.
58.
So from the leg count, it definitely favours the Welshman because he's got 11 legs
81.
to Jelle's 4. I think that tells a bit of a story
60.
about the form of these two players, because we don't need to talk too much about what Robert's done tonight. He's been fabulous.
83.
109.41 in his first game and 99.93 in his second.
59.
He is, without a doubt, the form horse this evening.
60.
One thing Jelle has changed
58.
a couple of times this week is the stem and flight setup. This is what he was using on Monday. On Tuesday and Wednesday he was using white flights. And you might think that that's
125.
not that important.
32.
But to these players, colours can have a massive effect.
60. Robbie Ruckle 92.
Where's he going? Stay there.
Game shot on the first leg.
Is there anything he can't do? That's absolutely incredible. That is the second time tonight he's gone out double-double.
Game on.
A little bit earlier against Arron Monk, he took out tops for 100. I have never seen Robert Owen look this confident.
140.
And this likely. We're talking about 2 players who came second and third in Group A behind Dave Pallett, who has the luxury of 2 days off.
100.
And Dave must have played well to beat these guys. And believe me, he did.
99.
He was exceptional on Tuesday and on Wednesday because he only got 4 points on Monday.
140.
There was a look of inevitability on the face of the Cobra when Robert Owen finds that first dart. But that's better.
180. Robbie Ruckle 121.
Single 19.
119.
Or that was not meant. That's the pitfall of the way that Robert starts sitting the board.
94.
When he hits the treble and he needs a single, that flight gets in the way and can't catch it. So it's double one instead of double top.
Game shot on the
Not that he cares.
Robert Owen.
Not that he cares. Simple as that. Madhouse, not so mad. 2-0 lead, looking unassailable.
They'll look at Jelle to throw first.
Yet again, averaging high 90s.
60.
And the worrying thing for his opponents is that he's getting better as the games go on.
125.
We laughed when Robert said
42.
4 years ago that he wanted to be the best player in Wales. We laughed at him. We said, you're just coming off the back of your semi-final at the UK Open, and you think that you can be better than Johnny Clayton, better than Gezi Price, better than Mark Webster, better than Louis Williams.
99.
If he says it to me now, I don't laugh. As to whether he will be the best player in Wales,
100.
I don't know. But he's better than I ever thought he could be. And that is maybe the nicest thing I can say to Rob.
100.
Because he is better than I ever thought he was.
$115.
He is not putting a foot wrong.
47. Robbie,
and if the Cobra doesn't bite him soon, he's going to be out of sight. Okay. Right-hand side, and Klaasen still believes he's going to hit this. And I think he is as well.
20.
We were wrong. I think he should have gone to the right side.
153.
I think he chose wrong there. Maybe that's the only thing he's done incorrectly all night.
20. Game
but he
shot
hasn't
on the
missed
third
that one.
leg.
And
Robert
that is
Owen.
now 7 consecutive legs won against the 2006 world champion. Wow.
Fourth leg, it's Robert to throw first. Game on.
I know that Jelle's not playing his best game, but he's being forced into pressure by the really good stuff of Robert.
137.
And there are players out there as well, like Robert, who play this game somewhat unconventionally. And one of the worst things you can do is watch them play.
96.
Richie Burnett was always like that with his somewhat ballet-style follow-through.
180.
The best thing to do is to not watch and just focus on your own game. There have been 2 maximums in this match.
58.
Both have come from the person who was 3-0 down. And there's a third.
180.
If he goes on to lose this game 4-0 after hitting 3 maximums to Robert's 0, it will be the poster child
115.
for 180s for sure, doubles for door.
99. Robbie, record 140.
Match point, stack attack. Doesn't really scare it.
40. Yearly record 16.
So this is to stop the rot.
No score.
And that has been a big problem tonight.
Robert, your record
His double
74.
stats are not up to scratch, unfortunately. On the other hand, Roberts have been very good.
54. Yearly
He does
record
miss
16.
again.
Game shot on the fourth leg. Jelle Klaasen.
Somewhat lackadaisical walk to the board to get the darts away from the Seisel, but he has broken through, and he still has a chance of winning the game from this position.
Fifth leg, it's Jelle to throw first. Game on.
So if we analyse the stats of Jelle on the outer ring, as he looks for a 4th max.
140.
25% against Kenny. 2 from 13 in his second game against Arron Monk, which was 15%.
100.
That is well below par.
42.
Even for what he's done this week, which at just under 32% is probably at least 10% below where he wants to be.
92. $139.
We do now know, after a couple of quite infamous games this week that 3-0 is never comfortable.
85.
Nothing more so than Colin Osborne in game 1 this morning, who left himself on 130 after 9 darts in leg number 4. And if he'd hit that, he would have registered a new Live League average record in excess of 120.
60,
he didn't take
150.
it, and he squandered 26 match darts before he got over the line.
95. Robbie, you reckon 164.
He ended up with an average of 84. That's how close Robert was to getting a shot for the bull for the match.
Game shot on the 5th leg.
This game isn't
Jelle
done
Klaasen.
yet. And if you thought Robert Owen was going to roll over the Cobra just like that, you were mistaken. It's now 3-2.
6th leg, it's Robert to throw first. Game on.
When you are 3-0 up, you're thinking, I want to win by the biggest possible
78.
margin. When you're 3-2 up, you just want to win. You don't care about the margin anymore.
80.
And you do want to get it done in this leg when you've got the darts.
140.
As well as Robert has played in this game, that's only his third 140. In fact,
100.
Jelle's only got one. In 5 and a bit legs.
140.
And Robert adds to his tally to get himself into the finishing zone. Something that Jelle can't do.
140. Robert, you reckon 143.
You would take a setup to come back.
83.
And that's not a bad setup. On tops and tens this week, he has been deadly.
52. Robbie, you reckon 60.
More so on tens, actually, than tops.
40. Yeah, you reckon
He really does get those
129.
darts to sit down, doesn't he? And we're going to find out just how good he is on tens. Because he is coming back for it.
105. Robbie, you reckon 20.
To stay undefeated.
Game
finds
shot
double
on the
five.
match.
17
Robert
darter
Owen.
to remain 3 from 3 it is. And Jelle Klaasen, unfortunately, now has only one possibility of getting points from tonight's action, and that's when he plays Jamie Kelling in match number 10. It is Robert Owen who will have a crack at an undefeated night in a couple of games' time. But a good performance. His average for the night will come down, but will he care about that? Probably not. Arron Monk is going to take on Jamie Kelling in the next game. Plenty to talk about with this one. These pals from many a year have been facing each other for the best part of 15 years since they were kids. Let's talk about that one after the break. It's game number 8, and we are past the midnight hour now, so into early morning darts on a Friday. What are we going to see from these two former kids who are now men, but they've been playing each other for the best part of 20 years? JK and the Mad Monk. Owen at the top, undefeated. Kelling and Clarson still yet to score. And if Monk wins this game, Kelling will play Clarson in game number 10 to see who finishes the night without any points. But that's an if.
First. Game on.
JK could still beat Arron here. In his last game of the night, he's the first person to complete his 4 matches for the evening.
57.
And the best he can do is 6 points. If he finds that, he's in with a good chance of qualifying this time tomorrow. And a finals night involving Arron Monk sounds exciting to me.
140.
You know when you're making a dish on a Sunday or maybe on a Friday night with friends,
140.
and you think, maybe this dish just needs a bit of extra heat. So you dig out the extra hot chili powder and you think, how much am I going to put in it?
57.
And you don't ask the guests, you just think, maybe they need a bit of extra spice. Well, Arron Monk is the extra
95.
tablespoon of hot chili powder, because it gets really exciting when he's around.
139.
He has played better tonight than Jamie has, but to give Jamie a lot of credit that he deserves,
82.
he's run into a couple of steam trains. Narrowly misses the 60. He'll stay there.
45.
To no avail.
126.
I think Jamie could do with something like this just to spark him into life with a bullseye.
Game
Oh, it looks good and it's there.
Jamie
Just for
Kelling.
a second, we had to pause. The yellow flight was in the way, but I sneakily suspected it was in, and it was.
Second look, it's Jamie to throw
That's
first.
a lovely 15-dart break.
Game on.
And if he's going to be comfortable against anybody in this field tonight, it's going to be Arron Monk.
140.
Because he plays against him all the time. They're from the same area of Andover in Hampshire. If one of them goes to a local competition, the other one usually follows.
100.
But they were playing against each other as children on a TV program quite a few years ago called New Kids on the Ocky.
100.
Yes, the name of it was naff. But the concept has proven to be very, very good indeed, because if you look at who was there: Monk, Kelling, Joe Cullen, Michael Smith,
57.
and some others like Ricky Williams. Matt Gallup was there. I remember him.
180.
I don't remember them all off by heart, but I remember the photo of them all.
100. Arron,
It's one of the best darts photos I've ever seen. Another 54 would have left the bull. And Kelling will look to find a second
54.
ton plus checkout
Jamie
of this game
104.
to make Arron feel a bit empty. That one's not in.
56. Arron, your record 68.
Hasn't had a shot at double in this match yet, but he's going to get one now.
Game on the
And
second.
that's as good as it comes.
Arron Monk.
Beautifully done to break straight back for Monk. When you think of 68,
There, look, it's Arron.
that's exactly what you're thinking of. That is the visualization. And this is a good game. in the words of Bruce Forsyth.
96. 60.
I know it said that his nickname is JK on his graphic earlier, but his nickname really is the Yellow Submarine, because he has this liking for the colour yellow,
35.
like some dart players do. My favourite colour is yellow, as is Dave Chisnell's
140.
and Scott Williams. But he got that nickname because he used to use a lot of yellow when he was younger.
85.
And when you're in darts practice venues, nicknames can come from anywhere. I maintain that
60.
the two best nicknames I've ever seen, one was Frosty the Throwman for Mark Frost from Stoke, and the other one was a nickname that I invented for a young player in Nova Scotia.
140.
I'll tell you that story in the next leg, because it's worth telling.
140.
Over to you, Arron.
45.
Are you going to consolidate that break of throw in leg 2?
Game shot on the
Yes,
third
you are.
leg. Arron Monk.
14 darter takes the average over the 100 mark. I'm just checking it on my stat screen here, and it's 100.47 with Kelling on
Well,
96.
Jamie to throw first. Game on.
Yes, a young, talented lady by the name of Emily Alford in Nova Scotia in Canada.
140.
Very fine young lady. Got to meet her at the British Legion just outside of Halifax a couple of years ago.
140.
In fact, it was 3 years ago. And it was one of the last exhibitions I was doing on a Canadian tour. And just as we started practicing together,
41.
she retrieved her darts from the board, and the dartboard fell on the floor. And it was at that point we started calling Emily
140.
Off the Wall, which I think is a brilliant nickname. So if you're watching, Emily, I hope you're still called Off the Wall,
25.
because it is one of my favourite darting nicknames to this day.
137.
I'm still of the belief that there are too many darts nicknames starting with a the.
135. Aaron, you're quite 84.
Again, Kelling's playing well, but he's run into another steam train.
60.
Oh, look at those two.
Jamie Rock 160.
Magnetised to the outside wire. He can't believe they both missed.
40.
I think Aaron's having fun.
Aaron, you require 24.
I think he's enjoying this game. 66. Has to go for it.
18.
He might not be enjoying this leg in a second.
Jamie require 119.
Things could get decidedly sticky if this is found. 60 tops.
59.
Now what do you do?
Aaron, you
Do
require
you go 2-2-2
6.
or do you go straight for it?
Game shot
There's
the
your answer.
fourth leg.
It is a
Arron
3-1
Monk.
lead for Monk, who is still averaging towards that 3-figure mark, but it could have been so much better had he hit double 12 earlier in that leg.
Fifth leg, it's Aaron to throw first. Game on.
There's the proof. Only one more leg required, and his
31.
night's work is done. But at no point when you're playing here in Live League Darts can you take your foot off the pedal.
134.
You can breathe deeply and outward once you have found that last
96.
dart. And I've thoroughly enjoyed this group so far. We've got 2 more matches for you tonight. The Welsh
85.
derby between Robert Owen and Nick Kenny. And they've already got 10 points between them tonight. And then Kelling against Clarson.
81.
That will finish us up as we take around an 8-hour break before we come back at 9:30 a.m. Yeah, we eat, somewhat sleep,
101.
and live darts here at the Live League. Just for a second there, I thought Kelling was going to try and leave double one. It would have been the wrong thing to do, but I think if Arron was in those shoes, he probably would have done it.
100. Jamie required 47.
To keep this game alive. It's double top.
Game
well
shot
done,
the
Jamie.
fifth leg.
Lovely
Jamie
15 dart leg to keep him in with a shout of winning this game from behind. He's still 3-2 down.
Six leg, it's Jamie to throw first.
His doubles have been really good in this game. 67% so far to Arron's 37%.
58.
The only maximum coming the way of the Mad Monk. One of the trade-offs of using the dart that Arron is using tonight is that it does have a bit of extra width towards the end of the barrel and for a bit of extra comfort in his fingers. He is covering the bed a little bit more because of the width of the barrel.
140.
Doesn't seem to bother him. Still averaging north of 96.
$140.
Oh, this is beautifully done from Monk.
136.
That was great thinking. Switching on dart 2, because if he got the single 19, you know for a fact he was going 25 and bull with the last dart.
60.
That's just really good board management.
38.
Another one of those would have left that double 12 that he narrowly missed a couple of legs ago.
90. Jamie record 143.
This would be some way to save the match. 1 down. 2 down. 3 in.
On the
wow,
flag.
JK.
Jamie Kelling.
Here to play. What a shot. One of the hardest combination shots on the board. And Jamie Kelling is in with a shout. He must break Arron Monk. But that deserves a truckload of respect.
95.
Arron was on 48 to win the match. And Kelling pulls off the 143. He has not won a game tonight. But Jamie Kelling is
60.
definitely playing better now than he was the last time he was here. He has won local tournaments in the last few months, as he's been getting back into things after becoming a father. I mentioned earlier he's been thrown to the wolves in this group a bit, but he's holding his own.
100.
If he was to win this match, it would be solely because of that 143 save.
140.
At one point, at 3-1 up, Arron looked comfortable.
57.
It looked like it was just a matter of time before he was going to bank 6 points for the night. And the only defeat he would have suffered was that ridiculous game against Robert Owen in Game 2. But now, he has to survive a match shot from his opponent in his 4th game of the night. Is there another twist?
180. Jamie required 104.
I can barely watch. As Kelling goes for tops.
64.
His facial
Arron, you
expression
require 20.
tells you everything. And Monk misses 3. And his facial expression and his whole body language tell you
Jamie,
a very
require
different
40.
story. Kelling wins.
Shot on the match.
What a great
Jamie
game
Kelling.
between two gentlemen who have known each other over 2 decades. They've been doing that to each other for a very long time. And I can't wait for game number 3 tomorrow, because that will be the reverse fixture. I can't wait to see those guys go at it again over best of 7 legs. Fair play to Jamie Kelling. He could finish tonight on 4 points if he beats Clarson in game 10, but he's not going away empty-handed tonight at the very least, because he's beaten Arron Monk by 4 legs to 3. It's going to be the Welsh battle between Owen and Nick Kenny. If that can live up to the billing, it could be just as good, if not better, than what we've just seen. That's coming up after the break. Hello and welcome back to our penultimate match of the early hours of Friday morning. This group has delivered tonight, and it's not over yet because we have an all-Welsh battle here in match number 9 between Robert Owen and Nick Kenny as they finish up their tally for the night. Arron Monk is done. 4 matches and 4 points, and he will have to settle for a leg difference of all square. But Robert is at the top, and he could put 1 foot into the Saturday night finals if he defeats Nick Kenny here and remains undefeated. But Nick would not say no to a 6th point tonight, which wouldn't be out of the blue because most of tonight he has played extremely well.
It feels like it's Robert to throw first. Game on.
If you were watching Sporty Stuff TV at around 8:30 tonight,
81.
you may have seen me on the coverage with a few tips. My first tip of the night was for Arron Monk and Robert Owen to have more than 2.5 180s in their match. That one did not come in.
60.
But my other tip was for Robert Owen to beat Jelle Klaasen at even money, and that one did. And just remember, if you are having a flutter at this late hour here in the UK or indeed somewhere around the world, please gamble responsibly. We can't emphasize that enough. BeGambleAware.org
60
is the website for more information, and it's for over 18s only, remember. But I do know that there are some tipsters having a good time around the world.
119.
Some of our fans on Facebook have been in touch, including Gavin McKenzie, all the way from Melbourne in Australia, my former hometown.
100.
Hope you're having a good Friday, Gavin. You'll be way ahead of us in the old clockage.
134.
Just don't tell me what's going to happen in the next 11 or 12 hours, please. Bit of a running joke.
58. Robbie records
But regardless of what
67.
happens in this game, these guys are going to figure at the top end of this Group B table tomorrow. But that's double 15 and he can barely see it. How does he hit this? Needs wizardry. And there you can see why. That flight was covering all of the double 15 bed. Look on the bright side, Rob. You got 3 darts for 30 now.
47.
Not exactly
Robbie
the worst
records
position to be
30.
in. Double 4.
26.
I think that may have slipped out of his hand. That one was closer to the treble than the double.
$95. Robbie record 4.
Double 2. This double suits him. Just needs a bump.
No score.
But whack the flight. He should have won this leg
81.
ages ago. Nick Kenny was out of this leg. But there is a definitive look of urgency on his face as he goes for the bullseye.
56.
And very nearly steals it.
Robbie record 4.
This one should be in.
Game shot
There
the
you
first
go.
leg. Robert
And he manages to do it in 23 darts, so that's a Michael Jordan leg. 23. It was on the back of his shirt at the Chicago Bulls. You know what I'm talking about.
Second leg, it's Nick to throw first.
Come on, it's the early hours. We can talk about things like that. 23 was David Beckham's number at Real Madrid as well.
180.
At least I believe it was. It definitely was at LA Galaxy.
70.
I get the feeling that these two guys are going to be
100.
feeling quite jubilant going into the World Cup a little bit later this year, because Wales are going to be back in that tournament for the first time since 1958.
180.
But they are in the same group as England, so it's going to be a very interesting November and December,
54.
isn't it? Here in the UK. Lots of banter. Small matter of Iran and the United States in that group as well.
167. $55.
Well,
Robert,
Robert,
you require 111.
this is a good scoring leg you've shown us. How about the finish? Not so hot.
55. Nick, you require 112.
Now, he doesn't have to go 60. He can go 54 here till he double 19. This is really good thinking.
74.
Great attempt. I love
Robert,
to
you
see
require
that.
56.
Wasn't stubborn, understood what was left. But he may lose the leg anyway.
Game shown the
And
second.
he does.
Robert
Because
Owen.
Robert Owen on tops tonight has been so efficient. And him being 2-0 up in this game is not really that much of a shock.
So look, it's Robert to throw first. Game on.
Nick Kenny may be in the same boat as Arron Monk when it comes to tomorrow.
140.
And if Robert was to win 4-1 in this game, it would mean that Nick Kenny and Arron Monk would be on the same points and the same leg difference going into Friday night.
100.
A quick reminder that 3 places are up for grabs in this group from 5 players.
180.
That's the second maximum of this game for Robert alone. Nick's got one himself,
140.
but he's currently trailing in the dust of Stack Attack. There are certain lines that you say in your commentary career that you think, I never thought I would
80.
ever say that. Things like trailing in the dust of Stack Attack. Yeah, I never thought I would say that.
60. Robert, you require 101.
I'm under the impression that Nick Kenny doesn't have a nickname. We'll have to put that one to rest. Double 16.
69. $85. Robert, you require 32.
Double 16 it is. 2 8s.
Game shown the third
Finds
leg.
that target.
Robert Owen.
3-0 up. And pretty much getting very close to being qualified for the finals on Saturday night already.
Fourth leg, it's Nick to throw first.
If he does find one more leg in this contest, he may have to only find one more win
180.
later on tonight to be sure of that spot. But Nick Kenny's not going to let him go very easily. That's his second maximum.
45.
What is it about maximums in games with Nick Kenny tonight? He's been involved in some belters.
81.
Great game with Clarson earlier. Terrific game with Arron Monk. And Nick put in the bagel against Jamie Kelling.
100.
Talk about an eventful evening and early hours of the morning. This looks like a much better game than
59.
88 and 86 averages. Trust me. These two are both from South Wales. I think people who are tuning in from outside the UK may not understand just how big a country Wales is.
135.
Trust me, when you've driven through it, you understand how big it is and how intricate some of the roads are. But when you do that, you understand just how beautiful it is.
125. Nick required 46.
Now, this could be a valuable take here in this leg.
14. Robert, you require 150.
That was just to stop the rot. This is to win the match. Double 18. Oh, he's only going to hit it. What a finish to that match. Treble 19. Treble 19. And right in the corner, to the disgust of Nick, he's gone and nailed Kenny. I said it might happen. I'm sure Nick didn't want it to happen. 91.09 and 150 check out, the best of the lot. Robert Owen, very close to the finals already. I'll be flabbergasted if he doesn't qualify. But Nick Kenny dealt a huge blow here ahead of our Friday night action. But he is going to have 4 points going into later on. We have one more match left. I can't believe I got to say that line where he was nilled by Kenny anyway. Let's go on to the next match. After the break, it's going to be Jelle Klaasen against Jamie Kelling in the JK Derby. welcome back to our final game of the early hours of Friday morning. What a game that was in game number 9. What a performance from Robert Owen tonight. We'll talk about his stats in a second, but let us divert our attention to the JK derby. It's Clarson against Jamie Kelling. Last chance for Clarson to get some points on the board. Now, if he does not,
First look, it's Jamie
he's
to
not
throw
out
first.
of this group by
Game
any
on.
means, but it will make Friday night even harder. Jamie's got his first points
60.
this year. Yes, I'm not mistaken. He'd played 8 matches
96.
in the Live League this season and lost all 8. And he lost his first 2 tonight as well, so it was a losing streak
84.
of 10 matches before winning against Arron Monk in that 8th match of the night.
81.
It was a good performance. 92.47 and 57% on the doubles.
100.
We've had a great standard tonight. Aside Robert Owen, everybody has been of
82.
a similar standard. The differential between the 2 players, or sorry, the 4 players aside from Robert Owen,
180.
is less than half a point. But as far as Robert's concerned, he's in his own world. For tonight, he averaged 97.05 and he had 43% on doubles. That is a world-class performance.
Game shot.
And that's a world-class finish from Jamie Kelling.
Jamie Kelling.
Starting where he left off against Arron Monk. Now there is a possibility that the 2006 BDO World Champion could be
55.
in real trouble. Because we may have 4 players on at least 4 points. And Clarson could be
123.
2 wins behind them before he even begins Friday night.
134.
Who would have picked that after what happened in Group A? Not me.
100.
There may have been a few of you out there thinking Jamie Kelling
145.
was maybe the weakest link in this group. I think he's starting to prove that he is not.
38. Yellow 167.
I don't think there are any weak links in this group. I just think it's a belter of a group.
117.
And we're not even halfway done yet.
$100. Yellow require 50.
This one's going to be fast and furious.
80.
He's had
Jamie
so
require
many problems in that
140.
corner of the board. On double 16 and double 8.
100.
If it continues, I'm going to have to
32.
get some accurate stats to find out how many shots he's missed down there. It's been way
Shot
too
on the
many.
second leg.
And he has taken
Jelle
it this
Klaasen.
time, but the amount of times that he has let things slip in that corner is way too many times for his liking.
Look, it's Jamie to throw first.
Big shout out to our Frank Grimes lookalike, our referee Owen Binks.
60.
This is his 70th match he's refereeing this week. And I do believe he's got one of the hardest jobs here in a week full of
60.
darts. And if you don't know who Frank Grimes is, he's a Simpsons character from years ago. And Owen does look like Frank.
140.
I have the updated stats for Jelle on double 16 and double 8, and they don't make for good reading.
60.
Double 16, 2 hits from 11. Double 8, 2 hits from 8.
140.
So 4 hits from 19. That's roughly 20%. That's not good enough.
60. You leave 161.
So my advice is leave something else.
121.
Yeah, good call. This time he has left something else. Predominantly when he was making semi-finals of PDC World Championships, he was leaving double 18 all the time. Doesn't seem to do that anymore.
Game shot on the third
Maybe
leg.
tops
Jelle
should be
Klaasen.
his baby, because I don't know about you guys watching at home, but it seems like he's speeding up. And that's a scary
Well,
thought.
it's Jelle to throw first. 180.
But it does suit him. It would be so Clarson-like to go the night without a win.
140.
And in the last match put in a massive average.
125.
His personal best in a winning performance here at the Live League is 97 dead.
80.
He beat that with a losing average in game 1 tonight of 97.24.
64.
And because I think I jinxed Colin Osborne in match 1 earlier this morning, or yesterday morning now, I'm not going to say anything about what Jelle's average is now.
97.
Just in case he has the chance of breaking it, because I'm quite superstitious.
80.
I think Jamie's being drawn into a swift match here, and he's no longer playing his own rhythm.
82. You require 52.
This suits Clarson. And
Game
that hit
on
does
the
as well.
fourth leg.
That
Jelle
15 darter
Klaasen.
gives him a 3-1 lead, and his average currently sits at, I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to wait and find out.
Fifth leg, it's Jamie to throw first.
Even though all the statistics, once the games are completed, are available on the Sporty Stuff TV website.
60.
I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag yet, but the guys in the graphics department have killed me right there.
60.
He might break his record. He might not. And I'm sure backstage they're laughing at me right now because I wasn't going to tell you.
100. 40.
One thing I can say is that the players can't see those stats. And what's more, they do not want to see them. When they're in a game,
135.
I would say 99.9% of players, because there will be one strange person out there who wants to know what they're averaging.
91.
The players don't want to see that stat. They don't want to know how they're playing. They want to stay in a concentrated zone with as little information as possible.
138. 43. Jamie requires 68.
Plenty of time to dispose of 68. Double 16 for him.
36. 97. Jamie requires 32.
170 is left.
Game shot on the fifth leg.
It's a moot point.
Jamie Kelling.
Because Kelling shows Klaasen where double 16 is. We're going down to the point of the night where Kelling, if he finds something good, might nick this one away. If that happens,
134.
give Klaasen some space. That's all I'm going to say. Because any player who was 3-1 up and loses 4-3
100.
after losing 3 tight matches tonight has every right to feel a little bit irate. But he's 3-2 up and has a 2-treble lead here in leg number 6.
60. 100.
This is good. Getting closer. And if he does get those 2 points to join Kelling
100.
on that mark by the end of the night, it will be nothing but relief.
80.
And he will only be 2 points behind Monk and Kenny.
66.
And it'll make
Jelle
everything more
87.
doable tomorrow or later tonight.
$62.
As for why he went for the treble 12, don't ask. I don't know. He is one of the best counters in the world, but a couple of his tactics are questionable.
25.
Can he finish on double 8?
Game
Yes, he can.
shot on the match.
And he does
Jelle
improve
Klaasen.
his ratio on that double, and he improves his points total. More importantly, he gets 4 snowmen, does Jamie Kelling, 88.88. It's not lucky for him, but 90.93 is very fortunate for the JK on your right-hand side as you look at the screen. 44% on the doubles was better, but there were still some misses on the double 16 and double 8 region in that match. But it will be 2 points for Jelle Klaasen, 2 points for Jamie Kelling. You got 4 for Monk and for Kenny, and Robert Owen just in his own little world tonight. Absolutely brilliant. I tip my metaphorical hat to him. He was the best player tonight by an absolutely country mile. I'm going to go and take a little bit of time off over the next 8 hours, but I am going to return at 9:30 in the morning for the climax of Group C. That one was a little bit under par for me. I think that group needs to wake up fresh at around 7 o'clock and show us what they're made of. We will get that from them, and you will also get the assets signing out now, but I'll be back in around 8 hours. I hope you can join us on Sporty Stuff TV for the climax of Group C then. But for now, it's good night. Take care. We'll see you in a few hours.